Okay, it is Thursday, April 10th, 2025. Your Richland County Board of Commissioners are now in session. I'm Commissioner Vero, joined by Commissioners Mears and Banks, our Senior Clerk Stacy Crawl, County Administrator Andrew Keller, as we always say, Carl Hunnell's upgrade, Hayden Gray, and we have some members of the bee community here, if they could introduce themselves for our minutes and anyone watching in the video land.
Hager Hicks, beekeeper.
Aaron Pilheimer. Dave Duncan.
And you're all beekeepers?
Yes, we're here representing beekeeping in
All right.
Richland County.
Okay, so give us a couple seconds. We're gonna get through our logistical matters.
Thank you.
And then we'll turn the floor over, so just be patient, if you will.
Sure.
All right. Motion to certify the record of proceedings for April 8th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Mears,
Yes.
or Banks.
Yes.
I didn't wanna, that's not worth a. Okay, motion to approve requisitions.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
or Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, next up, we have a lease agreement. This is to rent space to them out at Longview. They are seeking to rent 700 square feet of office space. This would be for, it would start the first day of June 2025 and terminate on May 31st of 2030. They would have the option of a renewal. Hold on a second, let's see here. And the, where's my spreadsheet? And the,
Them being Farm Bureau.
correct. Hold on a second. And price, square foot. It's $691.58 a month. May we have that motion?
Not for square foot.
That's the monthly, that's not the per square foot, that is the monthly rent. Be nice to get that per square foot.
Yeah. Dude, I'll second that.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, next up, request from our engineer that we put out advertising for the 2025 seal coat. The estimated construction cost is 560,610.78. That is for 22.492 miles of road. May we have that motion?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have a request from Amanda Miller, our Director of Wastewater. This is her request for additional overtime and simply, heck, we've been experiencing some of that with the weather and the flooding, so our staff needs to be available. And so she's making sure that they get the proper authorization. May we have that motion?
So moved. Second. They worked a lot of hours.
Yep.
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, beekeepers, who's coming to the torture chamber up here? Who's doing the speaking?
I'll speak.
Come on up.
Thank you. Where do you want me?
Right at the torture chamber, we call it, right?
Right there.
Take a seat,
Right where you are.
right where you are.
Okay.
Microphone there.
There's a microphone.
Okay.
A lot of pressure here.
I'll deal with this. I'm here representing the Richland area beekeepers and other beekeepers in the area. We want to thank you for letting us meet, having our monthly meetings at the Longview Center also. We appreciate that very much. I'm not sure whether we're at the top rung or the bottom rung of the agricultural ladder, but it's an agricultural county. So we're looking for some money to be allotted from the commissioners to finance a bee inspector for the county. We've been out of a bee inspector for a few years. Last one passed away. He did a great job, Sonny Barker. And we would like to see if you would allot some money. It's not a lot of money, but some money to finance a bee inspector for Richland County. We've been in contact with the state. which would be doing the hiring and the training for the bee inspector. We have a candidate to be the bee inspector. Aaron Billheimer, guy sitting behind me, is interested in taking the job. And so we're here to ask you if you can help us out here. And we appreciate you helping us out as you have in the past. And we just would like to get a bee inspector back in Richland County.
Maybe you get a chance to hear from all three of us, but I'm supportive of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's up to
We've discussed it before, but I understand the state, if we don't act, the state is responsible. Is that correct?
No, what happens is the state hires and the state trains. County pays for it, but the bee inspector works for the people. So it's an odd placement of how this whole thing is set up. The bee inspectors pay an inspection fee. That goes into a general fund for the state. Unfortunately, it doesn't go to the county. So that's kind of how it works. But yeah, there's counties that don't have them, but we have a lot of active beekeepers in this county and they would be going and inspecting the bees for diseases and sending samples into the state and the federal laboratory in Beltsville, Maryland, and keeping the bees healthy. The more bees we have, the better the gardens, the better the crops will be. Probably 80% of the food we have is dependent on honeybees in general. So the more bees are in trouble right now, just between the pesticides, the mites, and a lot of other stresses. We've lost a lot of bees this winter from the winter itself because of mites and things like that. So the more beekeepers we have and the more inspection, the better the inspection is, the more prosperous the county will be agriculturally speaking.
And I understand how essential bees are
Yes,
to plants, to our survival.
yes,
Just read an article or a book on that.
right.
But I looked at this some time ago, and isn't it a kind of a cumbersome process the way it works? Because aren't the hours turned into the state and the billing goes to the state? So we don't actually pay the bee inspector directly, doesn't it come something like that?
Well, he keeps records of where he was, what he did, and
Turns it into the state, isn't it, right?
the state gets a copy of it, but the county gets a copy of it too, so that they can be paid for the hours that the bee inspector works.
Does the county directly pay?
Yes, somehow, and I don't know the mechanics of that situation. I can find that out.
Well, the mechanics of it seemed awkward.
Well,
When Tony and I first got here, we had an inspector.
Sonny,
Well, we had one for that when we first.
Weren't they both Sunny? Didn't we have two Sunnies?
no,
Yeah, we did.
oh, was there?
There was old time Sunny.
Well, Sonny was,
Young guy for a while.
Right.
okay,
The first one passed away, right?
The last.
Or one of them,
Last
the
one.
last one.
right, and that would have been
We had
Sonny
two
Barker.
Sunnies, yeah. One of them passed away.
Sonny Ward did it for
Right.
1 year.
Correct. He was the longtime inspector.
Sonny.
And Sonny Barker did it for probably 5-10 years. I don't know exactly.
You ask if you're at the beginning of the
Agri,
cultural chain or at the end.
yeah,
Obviously, you're from the beginning.
yeah.
And
Well,
we hired someone to do it there for all those years. And then when Sonny died, the state did indicate to us that if we don't hire somebody, they're responsible and they'll hire somebody. I don't think they ever did. So I agree with Tony. We need to support you.
right. We thank you very much. Yeah, we're just trying to find somebody. It's a challenge to find somebody that's a beekeeper that has the youth and the energy and the ambition to do it. So it's not an easy job and it's not an easy thing to find somebody, but Aaron has stepped up to the plate. Aaron Billheimer from Shelby, and he's interested in learning how. I'm going to assist him if I can help him. The state will train him in everything that he needs to do, from the paperwork and that kind of thing. We didn't get a state person to come in here this morning as the head of the apiary division, but he knows what we're doing right now.
So Daryl, are you saying This is something you'd be supportive of then?
Thank you very much.
We don't have any numbers yet, do we? We don't know.
I think we looked at, I think it could be anywhere from about 6 to 10 grand. I think give or
Budgeted 4,000 this year.
budgeted 4. So why don't we just take,
That'd be a great start. And we
Let's do that.
appreciate it very much.
I'll ask for motion that we set aside, or we appropriate those 4,000. What's that?
We already appropriated it, so if you're ready to appoint, you'd be making a motion to appoint.
Well, does he have to have the necessary training? So let's talk about can we appoint him right now?
Appoint them and we tell the state and then they do the
We
training.
need to
Okay.
take procedural steps first. In other words, how we structure it, it'll likely take the form of an independent contractor arrangement. But we need to confirm with the auditor that works. So we don't necessarily have to take any action today. But we can put it on fast track to.
I'd like to at least appoint the apiary and then do the logistical items. It doesn't mean anything's gonna follow, but at least we got that on the books and the state then can start the training process.
That would be very kind of you.
Because any contracts to follow, Andrew, we'd have to do that anyway, right?
And the method of appointment hinges on structure, but it's up to you.
I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you very much.
We haven't voted yes yet. Be careful here. You know it's gonna
I was
pass.
gonna go eat breakfast. Sorry.
Put some honey on your toast.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes,
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
okay. Now we'll work. Go ahead and let the state know and then we'll work with our county. What's that?
We have to let the state.
We'll let the state know
Thank you.
and then we'll go from there.
Thank you.
All right?
On behalf of all,
Aaron,
thank you.
Way welcome.
um,
All right.
Appreciate that.
No problem. Seeing no further business, we will recess until 10 o'clock.
Don't know. Angry.
All right, it is 10 a.m. and we are back in session and we are joined by our maintenance superintendent, Josh Hicks, who is apparently in competition with Captain Sweat at the sheriff's department to spend some money. So you are here to do your best Jimmy Sweat impression, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items that would involve monies. Is that correct? Give or take?
Give or take.
Well, let's start at the concrete work at Peoples for 74,050.00.
So both the quotes for people has to do with actually the sheriff's department back there.
There's also a quote, Stacy, for a railing from Mattern Metalworks too, and that's for 12,450.
And because of the deterioration of from the generator around to back entrance of sheriff's department. I met with Purdy's down there and they get it repaired or torn out and replaced. That's the 74,000. Oh, yeah, $74,050 quote.
How old do we think that concrete is?
Probably when the addition was built.
Which is when?
Well, the original hospital was in the 40s and it's so
Far behind it.
but yeah.
The,
So
they also, that entrance is used by the veteran services, the coroner, and our central services. And in addition to that.
and it goes from the CAC parking lot up to the main parking lot. What they're gonna do is they're gonna blow that out and put in new steps, both from the parking lot and up into the back entrance.
We have the budget to do this, or do we need money out of reinvest?
I budget it
Okay.
actually for reinvestment for my projects.
So how do people get in the building if when this is being worked on?
They'll be able to get around.
Same way you were getting in the building today when. Right, I think you know.
Park in the upper or the lower if they know where they're going. In addition to that, Matter Metals is gonna do hand railing and railing around the dock area at the top. What the Mattern quote is, 12,450.
Okay, motion to approve both quotes.
So moved.
Second, who companies doing work?
Arrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Beers,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Continuing to give more work to local companies. Next up, we have there's some plumbing work that needs to be done out at the jail. We have 2 quotes there, total 3,620.00 with standard plumbing. Josh, tell us about that.
We have a floor drain that's blowed out, broken in the kitchen. That's the lesser of the 2 quotes. And then we have a HVAC unit that's not working in one of the hallways. That's the $1,150 quote.
Motion to approve.
Second. Oh, Hogan.
Second.
Arrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Beers.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Josh, we'll skip the posting for seasonal and just continue with just the quotes and make it consistent. So now you're requesting an additional appropriation in jail repairs. Is that correct?
So for the jail, it's $46,250 to Oakstone or another local company. I had this budgeted in my project outlook. Reinvestment, but discussion was they get from that.
Well, yeah, what we will do, because if you recall, we have the contract with the city, and so it's a way when we do the true up to capture all the costs for the jail. So I talked to Stacy yesterday. We would need a motion to transfer the 40.
Those are probably 2 different conversations.
Right, I'm not
You
talking,
budgeted the Oakstone and reinvestment.
I was gonna ask for a motion to transfer money from reinvestment in the general fund for these repairs. Yes? Andrew,
Say it one more time.
I was gonna ask for the motion that we transfer money from the reinvestment fund of 46,250 into the general fund for the repairs.
What are our other options?
I guess we have money in contingency, right, Stacy? We have we have money in general fund now, so just,
Mhm.
It's not that that's wrong, so we typically
All right.
try to pay it.
All right.
correct.
yep, all right, so we have, what do we have in contingency?
I'll have to look.
I'll ask for a motion that we appropriate from certified yet unappropriated monies out of the general fund to the tune of 46,250 for the work at the jail with Oakstone.
And it also approved the Oakstone quote.
Isn't that 46,250? The next one's juvenile. I didn't
Yes.
make that a part of this.
I know, so we're approving the 46,250 quote and certifying additional money.
Yes,
Motion.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, now we have a quote also with Oakstone for the juvenile detention center, and that's for 3,250.00. It's for cleaning and waterproofing of the juvenile detention center. There's also some additional work to be done, cut out and caulk the expansion joints. And Josh, take it away.
That's for the upper roof section. Uh. Small section of that where it's been leaking down into the courtroom and also into the gymnasium area. So be future work done on the roof this year.
What fund?
Uh. Repairs.
Out of the general fund.
Ask for motion to approve the quote.
Motion.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
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 All right, next,
Also, though, I think,
Also for additional.
yeah, there's still a request for additional in jail repairs because of the unexpected elevator repairs that.
That drained my
36.
repairs budget for. To the elevator. I'm asking for an additional 36,000.
Yeah,
do we have to do it now or can we do it on a per project basis? Not that it overly matters. I would say let's wait for when the need comes and yeah, we understand we had to use it for the elevator, so that's not gonna be a problem.
Okay.
That work, Daryl?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe we'll get lucky and we won't need anything the rest of the year.
I'll be back next week then.
You play the lottery? Yeah, no problem. Let's just wait to see what comes in. That okay? All right.
And then Carol and I will discuss projects as they come in.
All right, Josh Sweat. I'll wait to hear from your next project. And now you have another request that we post for seasonal position. We've had, knock on wood, some good success with these. And
Yeah,
hey,
this,
county's a great place to work. Hayden, you looking to mow some lawns and do some painting for some extra cash?
Don't have to work with Carl.
You don't have to work with Carl.
Maybe he wanted to.
So
Oh, we ain't hiring Carl. No.
starting pays $15 an hour, not bad, and looking for 40 hours a week for approximately 15 weeks. May we have the authorization to post?
motion.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Anything else there, Mr. Spend?
not yet.
All right. We will recess until 10:30.
The guy we've been hiring the last couple of years.
Okay, it is 10:30. Rich County Board of Commissioners are now in session. We are joined by Jenny Phelps in Human Resources. Or we would say Human Resources and Central Services, is that correct? And Risk Management. We don't say loss, we say risk management. Is that correct? Right? We got
Manage our
BCs
risk.
in the insurance world. So at this time, I will ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss employment of a public employee.
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
yes.
Yeah.
Co-chair or
We are out of executive session. We are out of executive session.
Okay.
And Jenny, I'll leave it to you to give us we come up with executive session regarding it.
he's here.
We're back into session. At this time, we're gonna have Jenny Phelps. We just have couple minor changes in our job description to our EMA director. Very minor, so it doesn't change any point factoring. Jenny, why don't you tell us the changes for the minutes?
We're taking out the words "when's alerting system," and we're changing those to RC alerts. We're taking out maintains responsibility over requesting and storing the strategic national stockpile during an event. And the last thing we're taking out is participates in NIMS training, stays up to date on NIMS cast.
Motion to approve the new job description.
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, Jenny, excellent work.
All right.
You.
Thank you, guys.
We will recess until 10:45.
Stacy, do you want this?
Okay, it is 10:45. The Rich County Board of Commissioners are now back in session. We are joined by Jodica Shetty with Regional Planning. And it's always good to see our buddy Miles from Wayfinder. So at this time, I will recess the Commissioners meeting. And now we will go into the public hearing for the CDBG. This will be the informational hearing. This is the public hearing number 1, and we will turn it over to Jodica.
Thank you, Commissioners. We're here today to talk about the Community Development Block Grant Program that the county has successfully administered for a number of years. This is the first of 2 public hearings that county is required to hold to allow citizens to have an opportunity to learn and understand about the program. So this one will be very general in nature. We'll talk about, the amount of money that is available, what are some of the grants that are can be applied to under the program, and then also what are some of the eligibility criteria to allow for those applications to be made to the program. I would like to start off by saying that as in the past program year, Richland County has been allocated $290,000. So it's a formula program. They look at the number of low and moderate income households within the community to allocate our share of the available HUD funding that is flowing through the state of Ohio. So in addition to that $290,000, they have asked that we use what was the account balance in our revolving loan program. That was the Economic Development Program. This was a program, if you remember, Commissioner Banks, that we used to lend out money to businesses if they created low and moderate income jobs. But the state is asking that if the counties don't have an active grant under that program, to roll it into the Community Development Grant Program at this time, and to use those funds to fund any of the activities eligible under the program. So our total allocation comes up to $340,000. We can do a maximum of 2 projects. That's the maximum we're allowed to do. And then it will also include administration, which the Regional Planning Commission will be administering the grant. And I will be coming forth with that agreement. It just came back from the prosecutor's office to the commissioners for approval. So talking about eligibility, 2 things to keep in mind. We typically can fund what we call a public services project. These are projects that will benefit individuals. So an agency can apply to maybe do rental assistance or utility payments, but the maximum it can be is 15% of that of our total allocation. And if we do want to spend more than that 15%, I do have to request a waiver from the state to do that, which we have done in the past. They don't, that's completely up to the commissioners to decide if, that might be a request we might want to consider. Project feasibility, there's 2 criteria that projects have to meet. They have to benefit low and moderate income people, and they have to aid in the elimination of slum and blight. And both of those are very stringent on how that can be qualified under either of those criteria. So the low and moderate income persons, we can do that by 2 ways. We can do what we call the area eligibility or the individual eligibility. So the area eligibility is you look at the data that HUD publishes through the ACS data on if there are any block groups or census tracts that are low and moderate income, then those would automatically qualify. So if you were putting, say, a water line in a census tract that has been qualified as low and moderate income, then that would be an eligible project. Unfortunately for us, Richland County does not have any eligible tracts except for a small portion in the city of Shelby and in Perry Township outside the city of Mansfield. So it's very difficult to qualify a project based on low and moderate income population. The only other way to do it is to do what we call an income survey. So you go house to house and you do a survey and qualify folks. Shiloh just completed one and it did not meet the threshold. So just kind of makes it a little bit difficult for us to qualify projects under that criteria. However,
Question,
yes.
door-to-door salary survey,
Mhm.
what kind of information do you get?
So they're anonymous.
It's anonymous, but is it
Anonymous.
viable income?
Yes, so so you kind of ask the same question, how many people are in your household, what is your income? And then there is this table that will quantify, you have to be at least 51%. So and it's a random survey. So if you do a random survey of 100 people and 51 of those have to fall threshold, and
But if they say they're making 20,000, they're actually making 50,000, how do you know?
that is, there's no check. It's really a survey. There is, you could, and what they have found actually is people highball it rather than lowball it because they feel a lot of times people apparently don't want to be known as making less.
I could see.
So, especially if you go to a small village like Shiloh and everybody knows you.
Sure.
Yeah,
You mentioned Perry Township,
yes,
and I would assume there's a large Amish
yes,
contingent who have lots of kids and
yes,
and
yes.
or line.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a good and a bad problem to
Right.
have, correct? Like,
Mhm.
you don't want to be qualified under low and moderate.
Miles, anything?
No.
Anyone out there? Anyone in Zoom land that might have some questions? Okay. Seeing nothing further, we will close or adjourn the public hearing.
Oh, the only thing
Hold on,
to maintain,
hold on. Now we're back into regular session for the commissioners.
oh, okay.
Go ahead, you can still.
Is that the proposal deadline is May 2nd to get those applications to regional planning.
Okay.
One thing that I think it'd be good to mention is the ballot coming in May. Isn't this where the funds come from?
No,
No.
that's OPWC.
The OPWC. And we are going to be coming back and talking about that.
Good. Good.
All right.
Before the election.
Seeing nothing further, we will adjourn at 10:52.
Well, thank you.